Hello Chronoholics, I am Dr. Karan Madan, a doctor by profession and a watch collector by passion. At Chronoholic, I firmly believe it is our duty to bring you terrific collector stories from across the country. And for today's episode, we are in the happening city of Bangalore. And our guest today is Mr. Hardik Damania. He's a proud father, a senior program manager in the Amazon supply chain, which means he's the one responsible to getting your packages to you on time. And therefore, direct all your queries if the local delivery guy messes up to him. Hardik, how are you?
I'm fine, Karan. Thank you for having me on the show. How are you doing?
Doing very well. I'm very happy to be in Bangalore again. Lovely city. We have lovely weather outside. From what I know you, you're a very silent member. In general, you're a silent member, but the guy has flair for writing. When he writes about his watches, I sit up and take notice because there'll be some aspect of his life that comes forth whenever he writes about his watches. So I know him through his watches, but today let's get to know Hardik the man. Who are you? How would you describe yourself? Who is Hardik?
So, Karan, mostly I've covered most of the things about me, but adding on to that, as you said, I'm a proud father. I'm a family man. Apart from watch collection, there's no separate hobby, but yeah, that's about me, where I want to spend more of my time with my family. I want to discuss with them, I want to spend time, I want to grow with them. And this hobby which I've also built with respect to watch collection, I also want to connect it with my family. Yeah. So you've covered most of it, and that's about me.
That's wonderful. So let's just dive right into it. What was your first ever watch?
My first ever watch, going back to the journey, right? When I was a kid, I used to see watches on my father's wrist, occasionally, but I used to see them. Then when I started growing, I used to ask my mom for a watch, especially when you're into school. Yeah. So either she would give me her watch, or else finally one day I said I want a different watch. And I got a watch from the street, which looked like a Casio G-Shock at that time. But that's how I started my watches, understanding, or I would say looking at watches. Sure. But the first watch which I ever purchased with my own money was after I joined Amazon itself. Yeah. And the first watch was this Casio Edifice. Yeah. This was the first one which I ordered from Amazon, and at this point of time I didn't know about watches. I knew I didn't want it from a fashion brand, and Casio was the go-to brand at that time. Absolutely. For me, and it's usually the first preference.
I mean, still is, right? I mean, a lot of people start the journey with Casio and Timex.
Right. Even at that time I had two options, like either I go for a G-Shock, or I go for the Edifice. Right. And at that point, since I was into like a corporate work culture, I felt Edifice would suit me much better than a G-Shock. Sure.
So you basically went for the look of the watch rather than what's inside and what's powering it. Yeah?
So as I said, I didn't know the difference between automatics or a quartz watch at that time. For me, the only difference was an analog or a digital watch. Sure. For me, G-Shocks was digital and this was analog. Yeah. I understood what a chronograph was at that time.
So that's what motivated you to buy this watch. Yeah?
Right. And of course, wife's recommendation.
Hey, that's the biggest reason for anybody to buy a watch. But isn't this the hallmark of Edifice watches?
Right.
You know, chunky, bold, with immense wrist presence. I think a lot of young kids start that way, don't they?
Right. In fact, in 2017, they used to come over 43mm dials. Yeah. Now they have started getting smaller dials into the picture, but at that point of time, everything was above 42mm, 43mm. Sure. And G-Shocks were much bigger than Edifices.
True.
So this felt more polished, more subtle, and more...
Especially with the gunmetal finish.
Right. It came with a brown strap, but now it's apparently changed to a new one.
I can see you changed the strap there.
Right.
Yeah, nice. Right. And it has a lovely brown dial, which is visible only at certain angles. It's not kind of visible on your face, right?
Right. In fact, this got me a lot of compliments in the first domain when I entered Amazon.
Oh, wow. Right. Wonderful. So this was your first one that you bought from your own money. Right. What came next?
The next one was this particular watch. Yeah. Again, it's a Casio Edifice. Yeah. It's a full black Casio Edifice with rose gold accent. Yeah. I wanted a black watch, so black is my favorite color. Right. Even you can look today, I'm in full black. And I wanted a full metal black watch. And again, checking on Amazon, and Edifice was something which I trusted more at that time.
Sure.
So I was like, let's
You already
get
had good experience with one, so
Yes.
why not get another? Yeah.
Yes, so I got this one. In fact, this has another story to it. This became my favorite watch from 2017 to 2019,
Wow.
where this is a watch which I would wear every day. And during a trip, I lost one of these.
Okay.
I was on a trip to Udupi, and after that, I lost this watch in that trip, and I was so demotivated, and I was like missing this watch so much that when I was in Bangalore, I almost searched like 10 stores to get the same watch back.
Wow, that's
And-
amazing.
Right, the same watch in the same finish. So there's another one which has the actual gold accent. So this was with rose gold, the other one was with gold.
Okay.
So multiple shop had the gold accent one,
Sure.
but I actually searched and
For the rose gold accent.
rose gold accent, and finally I got this again.
Lovely.
The thing is, they have come up with these new models, right? They have come up with a chronograph which looks like the Zenith Primero.
That's right.
So they are again upscaling themselves. They are raising the bar. Casio Edifice is doing a great job with respect to budget
And
watches.
they've always done that. I mean,
Right.
they've always maintained it. They're carrying on the same form.
Right.
And I think they're a very good option to start with.
And they know the trend as well. Like at that point of time where huge watches were, like the large size watches was the trend, they made sure they were into that trend. Now sizes, the way classic watches look, vintage watches, they're getting
right.
into that culture.
Right. Yeah.
So they are always with the
Vintage,
trend.
modern kind
Right.
of aesthetic. that
They're
they want,
always
yeah.
with the trend.
Yeah, no, that's true. So wonderful. The Casio Edifice watches. Your first two. And I see a lovely vintage Citizen on the table. I think this watch has a lot of story attached to it. I can kind of feel it.
Yeah.
So tell me about this.
So this watch is from the time before my birth.
Okay.
So this is my dad's watch. It is a Citizen Eagle automatic. This is the watch which he wore on his wedding day.
Oh wow.
My dad is not into watches that much, but this was like a watch which he wore on his wedding day.
Yeah.
After that, it was in a closet for a good decade or maybe 2 decades.
Yeah.
And finally, like one day when I saw it, I was like, let me take it from him. In fact, probably he didn't want to give it, or I don't know, I'm not sure, but yeah, I just took it from him that I'm taking this one. It looked gorgeous, and this is a way how I connect with my dad today.
Right.
Like, of course, as many son and fathers, there's always a generation gap.
Yeah.
But this watch helps me, bridge that gap and have that connect with him.
Beautiful.
This is an excellent watch, and fortunately it came with my size, because this bracelet is not something which you can resize.
Yeah.
Either you have to cut the bracelet, and if once it's cut, you
Then
can't, it's
yeah,
gone.
yeah.
But this actually came in the OG bracelet, and fortunately my wrist size matched my father's size, like the time which he
Look at
got
that.
married.
It was meant to be then.
Right. So this is a beautiful vintage watch,
Yeah.
and I do wear it, but I am also protecting it, because this is probably which I also want to
Your son
give it to
get-
my son as well,
Yeah. Wonderful.
as a heritage from his grandfather.
Okay, that's heritage from his grandfather.
Right.
What would you think would be a good watch to pass down to your son?
While he has taken a lot of my digital watches already, he has taken my Casio Royale.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably the first watch he might pick up from me, like when he grows, is my first automatic.
Yeah.
So when I started understanding what automatic watches was, it was like during the COVID era when people didn't have much to do. So
Sure.
I started researching on watches, and then I came to know, okay, there's a mechanical watch and there's something called as automatic watches.
Sure.
So this is the watch which I wanted from Orient, and I've been hearing Orient Bambinos are the thing which every collector should have.
Yeah.
And this was the first automatic, I would say, dress watch with an open heart, which I got it from myself. And again, open heart was something which was very fascinating at that time.
Sure.
Especially when you become a new collector.
That's right.
You like to
Yes,
see the
yes,
gears, you like to see the rotors.
Absolutely.
And when you see open heart, oh, that's something gorgeous.
something very
While
unique,
you
yes.
become a seasoned collector, that opinion changes. But at that point of time, and even today, this is one of my go-to dress watches. So of course, when he grows up,
Yeah.
and if I have to give the first watch which I will give him, it's going to be the Orient Bambino.
Lovely. Then again, you also have couple more Orients on the table.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised to see the Kamasu actually. Let's pick that up first.
Right.
That's a very popular colorway, isn't it? This red is very unique to this watch and to this series.
Right.
I have not seen, honestly, frankly,
Right.
please correct me if I'm wrong, if there are other options out there, but I've not seen a better red in the sub 50,000 rupee range. What was the story with this?
So again, like the way I had Edifice, my experience with Orient was great, and I wanted a diver watch. So technically, this is my first diver watch.
Oh, that's your
Or
first
I would
diver
say
watch,
a
yeah.
diver style watch,
Yeah.
because since this is not ISI certified or anything,
right.
but still it's 200 meter water resistant with a
Right.
rotating bezel.
Sure.
And this watch, okay, again I wanted a Kamasu because I had a good experience with Orient, and I wanted a Orient Kamasu. There were at that time the options were a Mako or a Kamasu.
Yeah.
And red dial, again red dial was unique for its time, and at that time I had three options: either go for the green, this red one, or the blue version.
The blue version, okay.
Again, wife comes into the picture, get a red one. And
I think she made the right call. Let
Right.
me just put it out there.
right, absolutely true. And this has become my favorite watches from the budget collection.
Sure.
In fact, if you will see me wearing a red outfit any day, this would be on
This
my
will be
wrist.
the one on it, yeah?
I would be wearing it to office. Like even if there's a tinge of red on my outfit, this would be the watch on my wrist.
Lovely. And let's quickly run through the last Orient on the table as well. That's the Sun and Moon, isn't it?
No, it's the V8 day date version.
Okay.
So this watch here, this is the latest acquisition from Orient which I got. This is the V8 Bambino with the Roman numerals. Again, it's the 41 mm, not the 38 mm one. Again, because of my wrist size. So again, if you will notice my collections, it is more with dark shades.
Yeah.
I prefer watches with dark shades. Colors are definitely brought into my life, but the dark shades are my preference. So I wanted this grey dial. It came with a different strap.
Right.
It comes with a different greyish tinge crocodile strap.
Yes.
But I wanted something formal for my office work.
Sure.
And though I had the Orient Bambino Open Heart, it still was a little blingy at that time. So I wanted something formal.
Yeah. The Open Heart kind of is pretty unique from a distance as well. You know?
Right.
It calls out to you. Well, what is that on your watch?
Right.
I got a lot of questions with the rare occasion that I've worn an Open Heart.
Right, and that's what I used to wear in occasions like I had to go for a party or maybe something like off-site visits, which we have these off-site conferences. I would wear that. But for an office wear, this is a perfect wristwatch. Dark grey shade. Pair it with a black strap, and you're off to your office.
That's a wonderful one.
Right.
Absolutely.
So I use this for major meetings, and again, how to connect with it. This has become my lucky watch. So whenever I'm into a conference, whether my directors and VPs are on that table, I would be wearing that watch, and apparently it works in my favor, or at least that's what I believe.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, at least that's what I believe, that this is lucky for me, and I wear this whenever there's an important conference.
Lovely.
And this is a great watch I have.
Great watch, absolutely. You've told me a lot about the first few watches that you got and some of your favorites on the table. How did you get into the hobby of watch collecting?
Right. So this has a story of its own. So during the COVID era, when people were working from home, being a corporate guy, I was working from home. I was again trying to get your Amazon packages delivered to you during the COVID era. But yeah, during my free time, I started researching on things through YouTube and started reading things. I started researching on alcohols first.
Okay.
Like any type of alcohols, any geography, any type of alcohol percentage, that's what I would be researching on. That research started getting into like a hobby of tasting. So I would buy a bottle, I would taste, but then I realized that buying an entire bottle for tasting is not a good option. Then I would be tasting at different pubs and bars to get that flavor of it and understand what whiskey flavors and what alcohol flavors are. But this started getting a toll on my health as well, because it's not a very good habit to be in, right? Especially when you want to explore more. If you have it occasionally, it's a different game altogether. But if you start a hobby and you think you're just tasting it, it does impact your health. So after that hobby, I started deviating into watches. And again, as I told you earlier, digital and analog were the two classifications for me. But now I started understanding what are mechanical, what are automatics, what are luxury watches. Even I used to think earlier that Rolex is a luxury brand. That's the only luxury brand. And Omega, which I'll come later. But those are the two luxury brands. But then I started knowing about APs, Pateks, Vacheron, Holy Trinities. So I got to know into all this. And of course, YouTubers like Nico Leonard and all those. I started Teddy Baldassar. We would be looking at those videos, getting to know more. And then I used, since my budget wouldn't reach to that place, I started understanding, okay, what would be in my budget? Orients, Seikos, Citizens, that's where I would start exploring. Orients became a point where I started collecting. And then again, our own Indian brand of HMT. That was also part of the research.
Isn't that a bottomless pit, huh?
Right. In fact, when I started researching, I was in the mindset that HMT is shut off. They have closed shops, they have closed factories. We don't get HMTs anymore. I also started asking my father, if you do have an HMT in your collection, he has a quartz one, and I'm also looking an eye for that. But yeah, that's when I came to know there's a store right near my house. So the Bangalore shop, which is at the Jalahali ABD showroom, that's like 3 or 4 kilometers from my house. So I started visiting that place daily to see if there are any mechanicals still pending. So from there I got my 2 Kohinoors. One is the green dial. And I was actually looking for the saffron. Like saffron has a different color tinge and it's actually gorgeous. But then when I was looking for this watch, the saffron one, I got a green one in place. I was like, okay, let me take a consolation prize with me. That okay, at least I have a HMT
you
mechanical.
made the pilgrimage to the store, so you might as well come back with one.
Correct. And then finally, a couple of days later, when I saw the HMT saffron Kohinoor on the website, I ran to the store and I got the saffron one for myself.
Wow, look at that. I surprisingly have the same saffron and the same green, and I got them off the website.
Lucky you.
Let's come to some of the eclectic things on the table. I see an amphibia, Vostok, but it's a diver without a diver's bezel, isn't it?
Right. This was like after I purchased my Orient. I also have a Casio Duro, which is there in mostly every collections, every collector's edition. So I had regular divers with me. I wanted, I still have that bucket list that I want watches from different geographies, like Japanese, Chinese, Swiss, Indian. So Russian was on my bucket list. But again, one of the collectors had this watches, and again, it was unique because a diver without a diver bezel, at least I know this is water resistant, and it's water resistant to 200 mm again.
We hope.
Right. We hope. Of course, this is tested in pools and oceans, but we have not gone deeper into this sea to dwell.
At least this watch has seen water.
Right. In fact, all my divers have seen water.
Oh wow!
Either it is a pool or either it is a sea. So whenever, of course, the latest editions have not, but the older ones, the Kamasu has seen it, or anything which has above 100 meter water resistance has seen the water.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Right.
Very rarely could you actually say that about a collection.
Right.
Trust me. I see a lot of people collect great watches, but they're so scared to take them to the water.
Correct. So, you're coming back to your question where you asked that why a diver without a diver bezel. So, firstly, this looks awesome. Like if you see, it has the cushion case, and it has a different dial texture. It is not a simple diver, and it is not the scuba dude diver. This has a steering wheel of a ship, and it has an anchor.
And it's called
the Zizou dial.
Zizou dial. That's right. Yes.
And I was fascinated with this. Even if you see, this is not. It doesn't have just the applied indices. It has numbers as well, which is 2, 4, 8, and 10. Along with those, the steering wheel at 12 and anchor at 6. This is a unique dial. It's called a Zizou dial because it was part of a movie where the actor actually wore the same dial with him. Now also you will get Zizou dial with bezels and all, but this was a unique dial for me, and of course the cushion case. Again, this watch gets a lot of compliment when I wear it to office or during weekends because it doesn't look like the regular circular dial. It has a cushion case. Even the strap is pretty so it gets a lot of compliments as it is a little different from my thing.
Wonderful. But that's still on the black spectrum. I see there's another wonderful watch on your wrist, again black dialed, of course, as per its choice. But tell me about that. That's the Black Bay 41, right? And
the 41 Heritage.
41 Heritage with the gilt accents and the gilt markers in hands.
Right. So, okay, this was my first watch into the luxury segment.
But how did that come about? I mean, you've made quite a jump, so to speak, from the Orients and the Amphibias and your edifices directly to a Tudor. I mean, how did that mindset change come about?
So, if I recollect the story correctly, so as I said, I got these watches. I started becoming a collector or collecting basic watches in budget, I had a Seiko with me. Now, again, just to give a little context, this hobby is not, it's a subtle hobby.
Very much.
Right?
Yeah.
Not everyone will be staring at your wrist. Like if you have a fancy car or a bike, you are on the street,
Everybody can
everyone
see
will
that.
be looking.
Yeah.
But this one is a hobby which you own.
Sure.
And I wanted a luxury
quite
watch.
personal, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
I wanted a luxury watch and I was waiting for a milestone. So I was a program manager and I got promoted to a senior program manager. At that point of time, I was like, okay, I want to mark this as a milestone in my career as well.
Sure.
And I was looking for a luxury watch.
Yeah.
I took a good enough time. I took like a 6-month period to just understand what luxury watch I want to buy. And Tudor at that point of time, initially I was like, Tudor, okay, it looks okay, it's decent. I mean, I'm not a fan of it.
You didn't really like it.
Right. But then it started getting on to me, the gilt accents, the snowflake hands.
Sure.
And initially I was like, okay, the snowflake hand is not pointy enough. Maybe I don't want it. But
It grew on you.
yeah, it grew on me. And the gold gilt accents, they are actually just too good when you see it in person.
That they are. And Tudor has a habit, you know, Tudor is actually in the business of slowly growing on you.
Finally, after understanding that Tudor is something which I want to explore.
Sure.
And at that point of time, it was a challenge because I am based out of Bangalore and there is no Tudor boutique in Bangalore. At that time, it was only available in Mumbai and Delhi.
Sure.
I spoke to one of the ladies in Mumbai. I checked on the pricing, and I remember I had this conversation around 8 p.m. in the evening. At 8:30 p.m. I booked my flight to Mumbai.
Because they had a piece, they confirmed it?
Right. I took a flight to Mumbai at 4 a.m. I met my parents in Mumbai and then I went to the boutique. I got the watch and I flew back to Bangalore. And again, this watch is again special because this is where my wife motivated me to get one.
Wonderful.
Usually we keep joking around that it's like hide it from wives and all, but my wife motivated me to get a luxury watch, and she said that fulfill your desire.
Lovely.
And finally, I got my first luxury watch, which was the Black Bay 41.
Thank you, Wow, fantastic story behind the Tudor Black Bay. It's a cherished piece, and I can see how proud you are of it and wearing it.
Right.
And I see another wonderful watch on the table, and that's the Omega Seamaster 300 in the Seaweed Green.
Right.
But tell me, you say you love black dials. Apart from the colorful dials of the Kohinoors, the HMTs,
Right.
this is the only other colorful watch that you have.
Right.
How did this come about? What changed your psychology to say, I want a green watch?
Right. So, Omega Seamaster, I remember watching James Bond movies, and Seamaster was a signature watch which Pierce Brosnan used to wear.
Yeah.
And he's still my favorite Bond. Sorry to disappoint people, but Pierce Brosnan is still my favorite Bond today. But he used to wear these Omega Seamaster, and that blue was apparently different from the today's blue.
It was,
But I knew that watch. Like, even though I didn't know a lot of stuff about watches, I knew there's a brand called as Omega. There's a watch which the James Bond wears.
Yeah.
So I knew about the brand.
Yeah.
Finally, after Tudor, again, I wanted to dwell into the luxury watching, and Omega was something which I was targeting. Again, I was contemplating between the Speedmaster and the Seamaster.
Fair. Yeah.
And again,
Speedmaster or the Seamaster? Yeah, I think that's a fair dilemma to have.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
But since I like divers a lot, and I have few chronographs in hand, of course that's not a very fair comparison. But I finally narrowed down to Seamaster again because of the James Bond relation.
Yeah.
Now again, there were color options which were available was the white dial, the black dial, the blue dial, and the green dial. Finally, as I have a lot of gray shades and black shades on my wrist, I thought let me look a little bit away from black.
Sure.
I was contemplating between the blue dial and the green dial and the white dial. The white dial with the black bezel.
White would have been a total stark contrast.
Right, but apparently my wardrobe will not work with that. Because as you know, as I've told, I'm more into blacks. So a white dial would be a complete opposite contrast.
Sure.
Then they were left with two options. One was the blue and the second one was green.
Yeah.
I asked on the group, I asked multiple people.
I remember.
Yeah, people.
We had the conversation, and you also kind of posted on the community where people kind of weighed in.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's the best part of Chronoholics. You can ask questions. So if people, please get onto the board.
Thank you.
Now, coming to the blue edition, I wore it on my wrist. As I said, I'll always wear it before.
Try the watch before,
Right. But it was too bright for me. Like it comes out really brightly. Irrespective of the lighting condition, the blue is very prominent.
Got it.
I like the blue which Pierce Brosnan was wearing, which was at the time when coaxial wasn't there. It was a very subtle
more
blue.
subtle blue.
Right.
Yes,
but now the blue of Omega Seamaster is pretty bright.
Yeah.
Then I tried this on, and this is a chameleon to me. This will look.
For me, at a glance, it's black. I wouldn't know it's green until I actually go close to it.
Correct.
Yeah.
So under the indoor condition, it will look black or grey. Again, fulfilling my desire. And then in the outdoor condition, it looks green. It pops green.
Yeah. Correct.
And again, as I've been telling in my previous discussion as well, wife is the final
authority.
Yeah.
Not the authority, but thank you so much for letting him enjoy the hobby as well. That means a lot.
And she told me, get the green one. You have blues, you have dark blues, and let's go a little bit off from that. So and I wore the seaweed green, and I felt it was for me. And that's the thing about this hobby, right? It's not about just looking at a hype piece and getting it.
Right.
Like everyone will have a Seamaster blue, like that's the first choice most of the time.
Probably, yes.
But when it comes to watch collection or watch hobby, it's like what fits you and what connects with you.
Absolutely.
And all these watches on table today, they connect with me at some level or the other. And this one did the same. I got connected. I felt that okay, this is the right one for me, and I got it on that point of time.
And speaking of green, there's another green watch on the table.
So this is the only Titan I have in my collection, and it starts with the dial. I'm more of a dial guy. It has the wavy pattern, and I got this way before Omega. And again, wavy pattern was something which I liked from the Omega times as well. And that's what I felt that okay, this wavy dial is in my budget, and this shimmers in the light. Wear it under a traditional outfit, you're good to go. It has the gold, bronze to gold kind of
case.
Case, and this dial with gold accents as well as the wavy dial. As the light hits onto it, you see a proper ocean-like feel onto it, and it's called the Voyager for the reason. And this was bought. Like I wanted a Titan, and this felt unique at that time. Rest all Titan watches when I purchased this was pretty subtle, office-going watches with some basic dial things. But this was like unique at the time when I purchased it.
We've discussed a lot of your watches, right? But what would be your absolute favorite watch right now from your collection?
From my collection, of course.
Can you do that? Can you even pick a favorite watch?
It's difficult because while you wear watches and with time it changes, like okay, maybe today I might be wearing a particular watch a lot of times, maybe 1 year down the line it changes. But apart from all this, if I have to say that okay, this is my favorite watch, it is going to be the Tudor Blackbee. It is going to be the Tudor Blackbee. Like even if you ask me 1 year later, it is going to be the Tudor Blackbee. Because this was a milestone watch for me. I have a connection with it, and of course, black being my favorite color, it still matches all those vibes and brings the connectivity.
And then it also has a pop of gold to keep you interested all the time.
And you can dress up and dress down, both.
Correct.
This is a sports watch, but with that gold accents, I can still put it on a blazer or maybe something formal and work it out.
Definitely.
So this is going to be my favorite. Though Seamaster was something I desired, but the Tudor Blackbee will always be my favorite.
Look at that. Tell me, you've bought a lot of watches. I can see that... and I know for a fact that you have more watches with you as well. You buy a lot. We all do. We tend to. But do you have any regrets in the hobby? Anything that you wanted to buy but couldn't or slipped away? Something that you bought and you said, galti ho gayi, that was a mistake.
HMTs, like I have, it's a beautiful watch. Today I don't get to wear them a lot. Of course, because of it's too small for my wrist.
Same here,
I have bought it for a nostalgia effect, but it's still, I would say the saffron is beautiful. But again, with my outfit, the personality I am.
You would probably not wear those bright colors.
Yes, I would still stay away from the bright colors unless there's some specific occasion. So I don't have very specific regrets with respect to purchasing, but with respect to Kohinoor, I'm like, okay, they're still sitting in the wardrobe, and that's the only two I feel that I should avoid. I don't think like, okay, I'm not looking for the perfect collection, but I'm looking for a collection which suits my personality.
Correct, right. Makes
And that's
sense.
how it is. So no regrets with respect to purchase. Nothing
Yeah.
fortunately I've not slipped on. And of course you have your wife to ensure that you don't slip on anything.
That's nice.
I was about to buy a Casio Edifice the other day
Yeah.
in the mall.
Yeah.
But then you hear the voice at the mind. Hardik, what are you doing? Okay, I'm checking a watch. Okay, we'll move. But yeah, there's always a check behind you.
Yeah.
But yeah, fortunately, whatever watches I was looking for, I have those.
Yeah.
And it's there in my collection.
Wonderful. To just wrap this up,
Sure.
what is a message you would like to give to chronoholics, watch collectors out there, especially people who are getting into the hobby right now?
A message which I would like to give to collectors or new budding collectors, first of all, don't get into FOMOs.
Yeah.
Watches are there, they will stay in the market. You may find a different watch for yourself which suits you better. Wait for the right watch. Don't get into impulsive buys. It's difficult to say, it's rather, it's difficult to implement, but try as much as possible to find that right watch for you. It's okay to have a collection. There is no collection which is bad or good. Maybe you might feel that you are having a lot of budget collections, but that can also work for you. It will work for you if you're getting the right piece without falling into the trap of social media.
Yeah.
It will work for you. As I said, none of these watches are going out of my collection. I'm not selling any of them because I feel each watch I have a connection with.
Right.
And that is what I would recommend to all new collectors.
Sure.
Choose your budget, choose what you want, and then go for it.
Yeah.
There are times maybe certain watches may be out of your reach, but it's not necessary to buy them today. Wait for some time.
Yeah, exactly.
And especially please do not take credit to buy a watch. That's criminal.
Yeah.
That's absolutely criminal.
Yeah.
Buy the watch which you can afford and work on that. That's it.
Wow. I think succinctly put as to what good collector behavior is.
Right.
And on that note, it's been wonderful talking to you, Hardik. I think we can safely say that we all know Hardik as a much better as a watch collector today than ever before. And this has been wonderful. I'm glad that you spent your time with us. And thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Karan, for having me on this platform.
Pleasure.
And I'm really happy to be part of Chronoholics.
Thank you.
And I would also recommend everyone to be part of it. Whoever is seeing this video, please join the Chronoholic group. It's a great place to be, especially for watch collectors.
Thank you very much. We'll be back with another episode of Chronoholic Stories very soon. Thank you for watching. Bye.